When you hear what this trucking industry insider said to me, you are not gonna believe this. Let's talk about it. So truckers are the backbone of our entire economy. They are critical. Nothing gets on a shelf to you in any store in America without a trucker bringing it somewhere. Even if they didn't bring it directly to the store, they brought it to a warehouse, or they brought it from a shipyard, or they brought it from a shipyard in China somewhere. So truckers are literally critical to the backbone of our economy. And if the supply chain for truckers stops, then it's over. But just to start off, we're going to start off slow and then just dive deeper into it, because this is a really complex thing that's shutting down the trucking industry, and this is scary stuff. This is going to take years to recover from. So just to start with, the price of diesel, which massive trucks run on, hits an all-time high. That is just a huge hit for truckers. A lot of truckers pay their own gas out of their pocket. They're getting a salary and they take gas out as an expense. So if that cost goes up a lot more, a lot of truckers are just not gonna do the delivery because they don't even have the gas money up front to pay for all this diesel. Some of them are paying close to $2,000 just to fill up their tank. Imagine paying $2,000 to fill up your gas tank. This is insane, and just this is a huge problem for truckers. So let's just keep diving in deeper though. And all of these food shortages, empty shelves, all these things at all of our favorite stores are also directly tied to the supply chain and to our truckers and their ability to get goods places. The state of Georgia literally declared a state of emergency over the supply chain and to help truckers move more goods faster. So the big problem that truckers are facing is summed up in this article here. Where have all the truck parts gone? So this is bigger than just truckers not having gas. This is trucks are breaking down and they are not able to make repairs on their vehicles and get them back out in their fleet. So they're essentially being taken off the map. And this comes on top of the Russia-Ukraine war, and half of the world's neon for chips that go in almost all modern vehicles, half of the world's neon gas for these chips has been wiped out from this Russia-Ukraine war and sanctions and all these other things. Half of it. So this says supply chain and building material constraints have hampered new truck builds for much of the year. Yet a similar effect is being felt by fleets who simply want to service the trucks they already have. Volatility in steel and rubber prices has impacted the availability of tires and forged parts like blocks and housings, and lead time for parts that used to be a few days can drag on for weeks. So now we're having a whole parts crisis, and this is also on top of China's Shanghai lockdowns, and they are Shanghai's the biggest port in the world, and it is shut down, and they are one of the biggest supplier of all these random little parts we need to fix our cars. Valves, hoses, pumps, all these different things are made in China. So this is really setting up for a catastrophe. So now that we have the background knowledge and we set the stage for what's going on in the world for truckers right now and all the struggles that they're having, let's get into what this insider said, because this is critical to get people's knowledge from people inside the industry. This is what we need. This is what I want more in the comments, and just in general, people should be talking to each other more. You know, we need to be telling each other what we see and what's going on, because you're not crazy. People aren't crazy. We know what's happening. We can see for ourselves. I don't have to tell you. The news doesn't have to tell you. Nobody has to tell you. You can see it. And I like to hear people's stories. So let me know if you have any stories like this, because I want to know what's going on behind the scenes, behind the curtain of all these different industries. They're all being affected by these shortages and sanctions and inflation and all these different things. So let's get into what they said. They said, "It is worse than you think. I work as a mobile mechanic on big rigs and semi-trailers. Parts to fix the big trucks are getting hard to come by. Examples would be water pumps for the Cummins engines and the Detroit engines. Both have international back orders on them." International back orders. So, I mean, we live in a globalized economy with a global supply chain. Everyone's going after these parts that aren't being produced. And then they can't fix their trucks because they can't get the parts, and then there's less trucks to deliver the parts. It's just like, it's like a death spiral that we're heading into with these supply chain problems. Let me keep going. "Normally I would swap the pumps and top them off with coolant. Now the trucks are towed to a yard where they just sit until someone can get the parts. So all these trucks are being taken out of their fleet and just sitting in a yard for weeks, months at a time." This is just another thing. If you haven't seen my video, your world is about to drastically change, go check it out, because that literally breaks down the whole supply chain and all the issues dealing with China and how our supply chain is so connected to it, and how these lockdowns in China are going to just make the supply chain issue that we're dealing with now 100 times worse, and how it takes time for all these things to catch up here in America, because the supply chain is such a long, complex thing. So now the trucks are just towed to the yard until someone can get them parts. Brass fittings, plastic fittings, valves, etc. are either replaced with something else or not at all. Trucks are going down, and no one knows when or if they will be repaired. That is, man, that's just another thing that we have to deal with in all of these, like, all my videos, I'm just breaking down, different topics, different areas of things that are just not working in our society right now. And this is just another thing. Now we have to worry about our own domestic fleet of truckers not even being able to get the goods delivered to where they need to be because they can't repair their trucks. So let me know what you guys are thinking down there. Do you guys have anything you're seeing specifically? Like, what are you seeing in your industries? What are you seeing at your work? Anywhere. Even if you just work at the grocery store, what are you seeing? What's happening in front of you? Because we can't deny it anymore. We all need to prep. We all need to have enough food to support our family. And we all need to be able to grow a garden, learn these skills, develop these skills now before it's too late. You don't want to be growing a garden when you really have to grow a garden. You know what I mean? Your first time, you don't want it to be the time you have to do it. Your first time needs to be a time when you can do it and you have resources to do it, because you don't want to be wasting resources in a time when you really can't. And we're already heading towards that now, where resources are so expensive, you don't want to waste anything. So start now, start your preps now, start your garden now, have security for yourself and your family, because it's getting to the point where we can't depend on these external things, the supply chain, all these other things. We need to be able to feed ourselves and feed our families too. It's very important. Let me know down there, guys. You getting a garden? You getting preps? You getting chickens? What are you guys doing? Let me know. And hit that thumbs up, hit that sub, hit that notification bell. And thank you guys so much for all the subs and everything. And have a blessed day, guys. Thank you.